Hey Sagittarius, I wanted to do your reading. It's one of the first ones because it took a while for your last one to come out. We're not just entering Scorpio season, November, we're entering another eclipse. Actually, the final eclipse in our Taurus-Scorpio axis. So this is a finality, right? This is closing up something, some kind of chapter in your life, some kind of moment in your life. It could be really unclear to you at this moment, even if you're the only one who can give yourself the opportunity to see what it is, because we have the Two of Swords out first. It's a moment where you're going to have to maybe be more open-hearted. You're going to have to put down these swords in front of your heart. You're going to have to listen. You're going to have to speak. There's communication here. This is about wherever you're becoming, or maybe you're speaking, for some of you, this moment where you're speaking or you're listening. For a lot of you, I do think it's you're listening, because there's a difference when the Two of Swords is something you are choosing, right? You're choosing to be blind to the situation, maybe not to have compassion to the situation, not have heart to the situation, or even yourself. So what's coming up for you is that maybe you heard something some way from a person, video, doesn't matter what it is, and something clicked in you. Something has been awakened where for a while you have been possibly closed off. And now you're opening up in a way that has more meaning perhaps behind it. Maybe it's not just that you have more to learn. It's that there's whether you like it or not, eclipses are going to eclipse. So wherever in your life that you may be holding on, again, this is very much this reiteration that something needs clearing out. Because if you look at these it's like taking down the brush and clearing yourself a path. There may be parts of you that don't feel secure enough to let go of. There may be things that you are up against in terms of yourself, and how the way you move forward with this is to really clear out anything, clear the air wherever it is needed. Use your words, but in order for them to have value, the actions need to go together, right? In this moment that you have, this moment that is being created for you, is showing you maybe where you don't feel safe to not look over your shoulder. Like maybe you're someone who is always looking over your shoulder, always waiting for something to turn. Well, there's a power in your hands now. There's a power in your energy, in your vicinity, in your frequency. There's a power that is being given to you during this time, during this eclipse, because this will be out right before it. But the energy is still there. We just had one in Libra, and it's in between, right? We're in between these moments, these lessons, things that have maybe laid dormant, or things that have been coming to a head. And I'm not saying you as you specifically, I'm just saying you in general. Like, we all are becoming aware of these parts. So what it looks like is that, and as we know from neuroscience, and something I like to say, is that it's not just your brain may not like that there is mystery after this, that there is something, that there's darkness, right? But it's the perfect time to go into the darkness. This is a change of season. For some of us out there, this is a time when we can go into and welcome, unlike maybe Libra, not that they're unwelcoming, but there's so much going on, so much to do. We can't linger anywhere too much, yet you find yourself towards Scorpio season lingering in certain aspects, but it's only because what you're being asked to do is reveal yourself. There has been maybe moments where you've had chances, right? That you may have thought or may think that something is going to work out, that one way or another things are going to balance out, things are going to be fair, things are going to be better. And what the cards are telling you, lots of major arcanas here, is that you not only need to trust that things will work out the way they're supposed to right now, but they will also reveal to you in this time. But it's also revealing to you where you need to reveal yourself, where you need to be okay with the feelings that show up that are actually correct. We have the Ace of Swords right above the Ace of Cups. Hold on, let's see. Excuse me. And it's this time where whatever's held you back, or whoever has gotten in the way, and I'm not just saying that like it's so casually, like someone's gotten in your way, but it could be this, how you were raised, or the person who you put a lot of faith in, you put a lot of trust in, you put a lot of value into this person, into the part of you that also needs to put that into yourself. It's very obvious here that there are a couple people, maybe even air signs, but we'll get more into that into the second part. But it looks like Libra season has asked you like to take a look. Take a look at what it is and where it is that you are being given the power, being given the opportunity to shift a dynamic. Yet, in order for things to balance out, there needs to be some neutrality, some give and take, and moments where you're not ignoring, or as long as you're not ignoring your instinct, as you're not ignoring your intuition, as long as you're not ignoring all these things that build and fill this cup, right? There's parts of you that have been, maybe some of you have been driven towards what really fills your cup, and some of you are still kind of wavering here in the rest of this Libran energy. But now this season has asked of you, is being asked to reveal, like we have the Sun and Death coming right after. So the exposure is quick. It's very quick. Maybe quicker than you'd like. Maybe quicker than you've expected. And it's a very vulnerable moment. It's a moment where, with yourself first and foremost, you are moving through this change. You're seeing the cycle come to an end. You're seeing where, and you're feeling, right? You can't hide from it, because what comes of it is this independence of whomever you've given more value than yourself. This is independence of whatever you've put your energy into, regardless of how it's moving, right? You may find yourself wanting to and feeling the bravery, feeling the courage to move on. And for some of you, it's moving on from, it could be both a partnership and career. This overall, it doesn't have to be that physical, because for some of you, it's just this part of yourself that is like, this isn't working here in this dynamic. If you want something to work, something's got to change. Something's got to give. It could be both of you. It looks like there's a give and take here. But this is also you not just taking and accepting that, but really looking at if the physical part is needed. Do you need to move on completely? Do you need to let go? These are serious questions you have to ask yourself. And we can talk about letting go all we want during full moons and new moons and whatever it is. But the truth is, it can be difficult. It's a big change. It requires you to really take your identity into your own hands in a way that maybe you've allowed it in others' hands, and maybe that's a part of it. Because I don't want to say this is just about a person, but for a lot of you, it could be many dynamics. There is one major dynamic here, though, and it's very clear that something about the situation has taken you, and regardless if it worked out or not, for a lot of you, I don't think the situation worked out if it's romantic or a career. What you took from it, though, what you learned from it, what you gained from it, what you have been seen and shown from it, that kind of growth, that kind of feeling, that kind of shine, that kind of openness, that kind of change is going to, lack of a better word, kill the part of you that was showing up before. It's like, okay, you're changing now, so all of this also has to change. Are you willing to take that risk? Will you be willing to walk away if things don't add up? Right? That's one thing I know you can play with. You're like, I don't know. Like, I know I'm brave. I got this. I'm independent. But yet at the same time, I can maneuver and bend the rules here, or just like find loopholes, and this is cool, and I can work with this. For some of you right now, that's not enough. There are those of you who are ready for something, ready for a change, and I wouldn't say to commit to anything just yet, except for yourself. Except for knowing yourself more, learning this Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups moments, this overflow, this abundance of knowledge of yourself. Because you can run around and do whatever next month if you're not willing to take a look at who you surround yourself with. Are they checking on you, right? Do they know what's going on? Why do you resist sharing in a certain way, in a certain capacity? This is going to ask you to take this ride where you may have to respect this process to move forward with or without whatever you thought was securely intact. To be brave enough to take Libra season's knowledge and view and what you've learned there into what's real for you now, into your life now. And there's weight to it. You may not receive the kind of attention you may have been looking for, perhaps, but the beautiful thing is that for you, you're seeing yourself as not only even more capable than you ever thought you were, but your willingness to be in this uncomfortable stage, regardless if it lasts a few days or it's a couple weeks, or it takes a total of the whole eclipse cycle of 6 months for you to recognize and get to know. it's possible to allow this to shift in its own time while also taking the power into your own hands with certain aspects. Everything goes from being all thought down to feeling this month, and those feelings are real. And who you are and who you're becoming is very real too, and that's why I think this is has a lot more weight to it this month, but I think you felt it coming. There's no distractions here. All right, Sagittarius, let's get into the next part. All information to work with me one-on-one below. All that is updated. I will be presenting myself more. Podcast should be out soon. That is a link below too, and we'll see you next month.